the first thing, is just enjoy the game. Football is a beautiful game where you can socialize with your friends. It's a great platform to enjoy life. How are you, my friend? Okay.
Good, mate. You?
Very good.
Long time no see.
Wow, so it's great.
I'm more at your house than I am at my house at the moment.
That's fantastic. Now it's very cool, very relaxing.
It's lovely. Well,
it's quiet today.
Why's that?
I don't know. Something happened. We are going to show something later on for them. I see. I hope they like.
Exactly.
But well, there is some interesting thing we are gonna go through today.
Yeah. So I think after the questions on Twitter and DMs and things I've had, and people stopping me in the street, they want to hear a bit more about the role of a defensive midfielder. That's how exciting my life is. People ask me about the role of a defensive midfielder. Just come up to the street. So what do you think? So I think it would be a good idea to kind of find out. Obviously, you were a holding midfielder or defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
One of the first people in the Premier League to do it. Find out where that role kind of started from. So were you the pioneer of that position, or was there someone you looked up to?
Yeah.
And then just talk from there.
The strange thing for me, quite fun. I don't know if it's fun, but when I started playing football, I wanted to score goals. I didn't want to be in this position. I started like right winger when I was a kid, and then
like
step by step, I want to be, I want to score goals, as a kid, what you want to do. And then I just start dropping back in the position until I was playing like number 8, not number 6 properly.
Yeah.
We say number 6 here in Europe, but in Brazil it's a number 5 and number 8.
Okay.
So this position was really good for me because I adapted very well. And I also, when I was young, play as a centre back.
Okay.
I think play as a centre back and later on play as a central midfield was really important because I could read the game from that position, which was quite easy for me. I make things easy because I always make things very simple.
So do you think that gave you a bit of an understanding about what the role of a holding midfielder is or defensive midfielder is because you played as a centre half? So you can understand where the protection they needed, where the weak points could be. Yeah. So because you played as a centre half, you know what's going to be required of you because you have that understanding.
Yeah, my first football academy when I moved to América Mineiro was really important for me because my first coach, Edson Gaúcho, he was really important to teach us, to teach everyone the way he wants to play. For example, when the centre back have to cover like the long ball for a left back, for example, or right back. The position that the central midfield have to be to cover the centre back. I've learned how to do it. That means the centre back go to the right, cover the right back because there was a long ball. I always feel the role of the central defender, and but play as a central midfield is about reading the position of your partner.
I remember saying this to me before.
This is really important. Yeah, this is really important because sometimes you don't have the ball that much. Sometimes you have it a lot because they're building up from the back and you get the ball quite often. But it's not all the games like this. Some of the games, depend the team you play against, you just run after the ball. And when you get it back, just give it to somebody else.
Yeah, give it to somebody you know.
But you have to know how to do this. You have to understand this is your role, because if you try to do something else you are not used to, you always end up in trouble.
So who are the people you looked up to? Who are the people that were your heroes when you were growing up that you tried to copy or emulate?
I grew up watching Toninho Cerezo from Atlético Mineiro. He was brilliant,
Yeah.
He was one of my idols. And later on, I started to watch Italian football.
Okay.
But he was not the central defender, but the position he used to play, Franco Baresi, was something for me, beautiful. Because
didn't he let 27 goals in 4 seasons?
Oh, it's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. But play as a libero, they call it in Italy. But many times I could see him come from the back and drive the ball towards the middle. and pass somebody else, because it's a kind of surprise guy. Get the ball, you normally don't expect like center backs come from, get the ball and pass somebody else, or pass and move forward to get it back and try to be like the surprise guy. Not that much. And watching him was really nice just to understand a little bit, the way he was playing. But part of my game, I just build up, make things very simple. Just cover the defender, protect them, the back four, give the support for the guys in front of me, the strikers, the other midfields, the wingers, if we play with wingers, and so on. This was basically the rule you have to understand, because people, some players, they lose their discipline because they want to
literally just about to ask you, is it discipline the most important thing in that role? So you've just got to stay focused in what your objectives are.
Exactly.
Not get dragged forward to try and score goals. Is that probably one of the most important things as a defensive midfielder?
The discipline is very important, of course, because as you don't get noticed in this game, I've played many games, nobody talk about me.
Yeah.
I knew I had a good game, but it's easy for many players in this position, because my opinion is that a few years ago, some of the coaches start, let's say, killing a little bit this position. They start to not build, let's say, not create exactly. How can you say produce this kind of players as a central midfield. We had in the past, I have seen Cerezo, I have seen Mauro Silva in Brazil, and some other players, even Dunga in this position, together with Mauro Silva in '94.
Yeah, I remember that.
And who else? Later on, I saw Makelele.
Yeah.
But then, if you see, there's not many players, because they start to produce like the number 8, not much number 6, because this position is, you don't get so much credit.
Yeah, no one's going to want to grow up.
No
kids are going to go there and go, I want to be a defensive midfielder. I want to sit here. I don't want to score any goals. I just want to protect the defenders.
Exactly.
It's not glamorous, is it? That's what it is. It's not glamorous.
There's some parents, they like, for example, when they put their kids in academy, and when the kids come back home, and the first question normally people ask is, how many goals did you score?
Yeah.
I say, wow, do I have to score goals to be a good player, to enjoy football? What's the point? Okay, I can do it, but if I don't do it, does not make me a bad player.
He did score quite a few goals for a defensive midfielder, though.
Yeah, it was not so bad.
Anyway,
a few good ones.
You give me that money later.
Let's get a little bit of credit.
There you go. Yeah. How many goals did you get for Arsenal?
I think 25, 27. Well, I need to check.
It's 27. I checked on the train.
27.
27.
Right? Yeah. But the discipline in this position is very important. The first, you must understand what's your role in the team. I think my position is not to make my game better, but to make the others better.
Yeah.
The position they played, for example, having the players like Ronaldo, I played Ronaldinho, Rivaldo.
Not bad, were they?
Henry, Bergkamp, and Pires, for example, and Ljungberg. This type of players, you have to be in the position to make their game better in the games they play, because you have to protect them when they lose the ball, because they are going to try to score goal. They try to dribble, which is normal, but not every time they are going to succeed. And they don't. If they don't succeed, and
so was the attitude you had? Is that the attitude you have? You're like, look, my role here. Exactly. It's because it's a team game. Like Henry's there to score the goals, or Ronaldo's there to score the goals. You're here to protect the defence and protect him, so he can. The creative players, the forwards, can actually be a little bit more loose with their playing and try more things, because they've got someone like you supporting them behind.
Oh, that's why you are there, you know, to protect the creative players. And those guys who made the difference up front, they score goals more often. But eventually, I had an opportunity to go forward. And then, if you have a good partner to play in the middle, you have a good understanding when some of them, one go forward, the other stay and cover the position. But for me, it was pretty easy to understand my role first. You know, I have to be a very good defensive player.
So what was your thoughts going into a game? Your mindset as you're kind of sitting in the tunnel with the changing room getting ready to go out? Do you kind of go, right, do you obviously know who you're playing against? Do you highlight them and go, right, I know Lampard's going to be coming through the midfield, or Gerrard or whoever's going to be coming through the midfield. My first role is to stop him creating. Is that how your mind? Let me start again.
Yeah. That's all right.
What was your kind of thought process? What were you thinking as you were playing the game? Did you have like priorities and things that you had to do?
For me, the most important thing regarding the player I was playing against is train well.
Yeah.
This is the first principle for me.
Okay.
The first rule for me. If I train well during the week, I do a good preparation. Doesn't matter who I'm gonna play against. I always believe that I was going to be prepared. And after that, you have to, let's say, if you play against those players you mentioned, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Ronaldinho, eventually Messi, and then you have to find out what characteristics they have, the way they play, and see how can you stop them somehow, or how can you delay their game. Because sometimes
you can't stop Messi, can you?
It's hard. It's very hard. But for example, when they are on the run with the ball 1 against 1, sometimes it's hard. You have to be sometimes, let's say, be tricky when you want to get the ball, because if you go immediately try to get the ball, if the ball is like, you see, I can get it. You never get it, because they are in front
They're
of you.
2 steps ahead of you already.
Exactly. You have to play this kind of game, the mind game, and but it's important to be prepared. And then, if you understand a little bit how the players play their game, you try the best way to stop them, or sometimes block them, make them play on the side, not come too deep in this position in the middle. My position was there, because not many times I confronted the player. I won the ball. It was not many times like this. I didn't succeed most of them. But what I always did, for example, if the guy liked to come to the middle, I try to push him on the side. And then maybe we have 2 players, or he have to pass to somebody else, and then you stop the action of progressing and to create something dangerous for ourselves. Just about but what I always did, one tip very important from Carlos Alberto Parreira, he gave me once we were training in Brazil.
Carlos Alberto giving you a tip. Amazing.
Yeah, really important, because this for example, when somebody asks me who was the best coach you work with, it's hard, because you learn from everyone. It's difficult to point one,
and also in different parts of your career, different experience, different clubs.
And once he said to me, for example, if the let's say Messi is 5 meters coming with the ball, maybe I cannot go there straight away and open space in front of the defenders, open space behind me to let somebody come and pick the ball easy. But what he said, if somebody come, just close, the angle of the ball. You stay in front of the ball. If you move on the side, you move. If you move the other side, you move. And then try to make the space shorter. Many times I have done it. And at the beginning was conscious. After became unconscious. Was natural, very natural for me.
So do you think part of your game was more important what you're doing without the ball than when you had the ball?
Yes, I can say that. Because I remember once I just got a ball, in the game at Highbury. I tried, to make like kind of skill, like Brazilian does, many of them. But not only Brazilian nowadays. But suddenly the ball just slipped over. I said, no, this is not my game. Let's go back to the basics.
Things like that. Get off. There's no way.
I didn't look. I didn't look to him.
Do you know what? I'm going to try and find that on YouTube for the next week's show. So try and do a lollipop or something.
Yeah, but then you have to understand. I understood. Listen, it's not my game. I have to play simple. My game is get the ball, pass to somebody else in front of me, and protect them. Because if they lose the ball, I'll be close, or I don't know, to get the ball back, as it happened many times, because they tried the ball, he slipped somewhere else on the pitch, and I was there to cover them. I think understand how to make to cover your partner, how to support the guys in front of you. This is very important. This role, but also when you have to defend your back four, when it's how you make the movements. That's why I always mention when people ask me this question, the importance of when the guy you play with, both of them know how to read the position of the other. This is very important.
Because you said before that Vieira was one of the best midfielders you played with. Is it because you both knew that mindset? You both knew that it was important to play off each other and support each other. Is that why the partnership works so well?
Yeah, it's true. With him it was pretty easy. With him, some other players I've played with, and I played with Edu as well, was really good, because apart from the language, which was much easier for us at the beginning, but there is something we've learned in Brazil, how to cover the other, and but I always knew my first priority was to defend, and understanding that in this position is the first role. But eventually, if you have your partner who understands, if you have to go forward, he covers you, it's fine. But before I said that, in the few years that many coaches, they stopped to produce this kind of players on the central midfield. If you see around the world, there are not many.
No, it's
now
not.
we have Kanté, who does
Casemiro.
that. Casemiro, Fernandinho. Who else?
Fabinho. Obviously injured at the moment.
Fabinho. And but not many. Fred can play in this position, but he can play number 8 as well. But if you see around the world, there are not many. But you have a lot of
There's
number 8.
successful teams that have it.
Exactly. I remember Real Madrid having Makelele there.
Yeah. Well, he then went to Chelsea, didn't he?
Yeah. Then they have in 2002 Brazil. They have Gilberto Silva.
Dropping your name in again. So it's actually I was listening to you. But the first thing you said was like, what's the most important thing? You said preparation. Obviously, you do the physical preparation to keep yourself as an athlete, and then he mentioned about the mental preparation, understanding the other player you were going to be playing against. What would that entail? So would you be watching videos, talking with your coach, Arsene Wenger, or one of the other coaches at Arsenal, for example? What would be that preparation that you do for the other player that you know you're going to be coming up against? And how would you go about doing that?
Sometimes we watch a video of their teams, but not always, and that's why the preparation for me was really important. But then you have the games on TV, you watch the games. At the end of the day, you don't have a big mysterious or played against them. It's about you to be prepared to face the challenge, because you have to understand you are going to play against a good player on the other side, and if you're not prepared enough yourself to be ready for this game, they destroy you. When I came to the Premier League, for example, I remember my first 5 games was really hard. I could not, get the ball and stand up because the game was so physical. But slowly and slowly, I understood that. I got into the game, and then face those players. Some of them I never heard about them. But then I started.
You didn't realise your first game was the Community Shield.
No, it's quite weird.
I was talking to someone about that last week, and how could you not know? Did you not know Wembley? Was it at Wembley?
No,
Cardiff, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I did not speak the language, and but I make fun of it.
Every friendly should get a trophy.
I just went for a game. I thought it was a friendly game, but. Go back to the point we were. It's like, but then you start to see those players play every week. Listen, I never liked very much, honestly, to come to my room, spend time watch their video the way they play. I watch the games and I make my pictures of them, the way they play. Some of them like Steve Gerrard, Frank Lampard. They like to to shot from outside, but also they were very good coming from behind, and as a surprise guy, or sometimes
it's almost like you were saying that you were kind of more of your work was done without the ball. Was it kind of the midfield? Is that midfielders in general? A lot of your work is done without the ball. Like Lampard scored so many goals, and like you said, was late arriving into the box. Was that something you had to go?
Yeah, he came many times. Sometimes, get the ball from outside, just prepare and shoot.
Yeah,
this was, both of them did very, very well. And knowing this, what you had for me, what I need to have in mind, just close for them not to shoot.
Yeah.
If they move the ball, I just stay in front of the ball. If they move to the other side, just move according to them. I dance my music according to their music.
Nice.
It's something like this. And
so you would almost sort of like shadowing them, so rather than diving into tackles.
But I never pay attention. For example, when I was going to confront a player, I not look to them. I was look to the ball. Because my target was to get the ball.
Yeah.
And if I could get the ball without making a foul. Because if I make a foul, the game was stop. Try most of the time to get the ball. And not make a foul, stuff like this, to stop the game.
Yeah, or at least slow progress.
Exactly, because I want to get the ball back and pass to somebody else in front of me. And at Arsenal, the good thing we had on that time is that we were very dangerous when we were defending in our game, in our pitch. But we were prepared to attack with Cherry at the left. And when we get the ball back, we were defending, make all the balance from one side to another. Suddenly, we just got the ball. Boom. What I have to do? I don't have to run with the ball. I just pass the ball to the guy in front of me. It's much easier. If I run with the ball, somebody stop me. But you have to understand that. This is, for me, it's a simple rule. You have to understand.
Yeah. And obviously, so a lot of your role was thinking beforehand about, right, who am I going to be? How am I going to be inhibiting their ability to play the game?
Yeah.
As people started hearing more and more about you, were they kind of having a player to try and stop you from defending them? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
so they were trying to take you out of the game, like you did with their players.
Yeah, can be. Yeah. For example, depends if on my position, if you are in this position, if you are kind of playmaking in front of the defenders, or get the ball and pass for the other guys up front, and then it's possible, depends of the strategy of the other team, the manager, they can put somebody else, maybe a striker, let the center backs play with the ball and pick this player. Many of the time I had this situation. It happened quite a lot. The challenge for me was to find where I could maybe find myself in a space where I could, let's say, don't have this player close to me. Nobody was a striker, and sometimes they don't like to run back.
No, well, sometimes, most of the time.
What I did, I just moved forward. This guy, at some point, he stopped. This is what I have done.
So, when you were playing, who were your kind of peers who were doing the defensive role very well as well? Was you Makelele? Was he similar sort of time as you?
Yes, Makelele. And then when I came, he was at Chelsea. And who else?
So when you played against Makelele, did you kind of compare notes and things, or do you know that? I guess you never really met because you'll be defending their attackers. Was he
a few times. He was a very tough player. Yeah. Very smart. He knew how to read the game and do this job very well. And I watched him many times play for Real Madrid. And in my opinion, after he left Real Madrid missed a play in that position until they found Casemiro. And now they're okay. But Makelele, he was very smart, very hard tackling as well. And then I think he knew how to do the job. This position, you don't have to make, let's say, crazy things. Just
to be smart.
You have to be smart. Okay, to be a defensive midfield is not something like, let's say, crazy to do. Maybe you don't need to be like the smartest man in the world in the team, but you have to be smart to position yourself and don't create, let's say, problem for yourself make things you are not able to do. But if you understand, the rule of play the game is simple. When you get the ball and find the next man in front of you, I think it's simple things.
Nice.
Sometimes good too.
Yeah. So who do you like now? Who do you think is doing the job well now?
I have seen Kante when he was playing as number 6. I really liked him.
He's my son's favourite player as well.
Yeah, I've seen him play. I think last season against with Sarri, like a winger, something. Or like the third.
Yeah, because they had Jorginho, didn't they?
They have Jorginho. I think Kante is stronger defensively than Jorginho. Jorginho is very good passing. He's a playmaker, and honestly, I never understood why they could not play on the side of each other, because Jorginho was very good with the ball, passing, and Kante, very good defensively.
He's unbelievable, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's just so fit.
Yeah, but it always depends how the manager set up that team. Some of them they have 2. Now they play triangle, have 1 in the center and 2 on the side. It always depends the way they want to set up for their games.
Okay. Yeah. So anyone's sort of from a coaching point of view and giving your advice as an Invincible and a World Cup winner and a Charity Shield winner, what advice would you give to people, just generally footballers at the moment, not professional footballers, but Sunday League or young players, if they are playing not necessarily a midfielding role, not necessarily a defensive midfielder role, but a midfielder role, what sort of some good starting points to be doing, and what some good tips to think about?
The first thing, is just enjoy the game. Football is a beautiful game where you can socialize with your friends. It's a great platform to enjoy life. If you and to challenge yourself sometimes have something to do. Kids nowadays, they use a lot of technology. They don't
like that.
Yeah, exactly. They have everything at home and they don't get out to play football or be creative, something like that. Football helps them, but also help them to focus on something, on your discipline, because if you want to play somehow, when you start in a football academy, you have to be disciplined somehow. You have your schedule, what time the train start, what time it finish, what position you want to play. You have to do things accord to the strategy of the team. I don't have fun. It's just about have fun as well.
Yeah.
Football is bring us a lot of passion, a lot of emotion. You have to enjoy, you have to have fun with your friends when they start. Later on, if they decide to go to a proper football academy to develop their skills, fantastic. Make sure they find a good place where the coach give them the right advice, the right training for them to develop and become successful in football. I mean, successful, not exact to be like winning trophies or be the best players. Make football as their career or their dream come true, something like that.
Okay, cool. And what about specifically for a midfielder? Is there some advice you can give apart from responding of looking at your teammate and your midfielder? What's the sort of things that a centre midfielder should be doing? What's the sort of main characteristics first and foremost? What do they need to be thinking about when they're going into the game?
For me, one important thing I spoke before is about the preparation. The preparation for me is the most important thing, because you do in the game what you do in training. I had a few times when I didn't have a good week of training. My game was not, let's say, I was not confident for that game. Sometimes you can perform well, but it doesn't last long. The preparation is always very important, and understand what's your role in the team. If you are defensive midfield or number 8, and one help the other. This is important. I think the position is very important to read the game. I've seen some players playing these positions, and sometimes there is a misunderstanding on with the player they play with. Sometimes playing the same line. It's just a small things. So they correct a little bit the position. It's like, for example, we are playing together.
Right.
Let's say
That could happen.
here we are, it's our game.
Yeah.
Let's see, the ball come here, I move forward. Where
Yeah.
you have to be?
Yeah.
Exactly.
See?
You know? Exactly. See?
I've been such a
You
good
know,
teammate for you.
Fantastic. You see, this just
Yeah.
the movement, you know.
Yeah.
Just one cover another because this go the
So
left.
how far would we be talking? Just like
It's
a meter?
Well, it depends.
Just read the game.
It depends, you know. I think but this is the importance, for example, because sometimes you have the counter-attack, sometimes somebody try to go forward and lose the ball, and then what you have to do, for example, you are the number 8, I have the number 6. We have the ball,
Yep.
we drive the ball, but suddenly I'm moving as well according to you, and then you lose the ball. What I have to do? Maybe you cannot come back
Yeah.
fast to close the gap in the middle. I'm alone. What the first principle for me is just go in front of the ball. Try to slow down the opponent, because if I slow down him, make the movement to slow down him, you have a chance to come back or the other side close this gap. This is important. It's
So obvious.
things.
But if I get it right first time, it must be quite easy.
You see, it's not difficult.
Yeah.
But it's important. I think the training is important. You know? I had some good coaches, you know, work in the tactical system, where in this scenario, I gave an example. You know, somebody lose the ball. You know, the number 8 lose the ball up front. The other players, you know, close the gap. For example, I would be maybe the first one. If the ball is on their right, now left, for example, I just move. Everyone move to be, you know, a little bit closer from each other until you have time to come back. I hope you don't lose the ball. Make sure.
I'll probably be scoring. Anyway. I'll be coming back to the kickoff. No, it's really useful. Is there any other sort of advice you can give in terms of anything to do with football?
I think this position, for example, I like to train about be well positioned. I always like to train out like the center back does the training with my head. You know, the training for me was everything. Where this is the moment where you prepare yourself. You how can you say, refine your skills.
Yeah, refine's right.
Correct.
Well done.
Well, the time I got confused about the English language, but it's alright.
Your English is better than my Portuguese, so we'll.
Yeah, but it's like in the training session where I always refine what I want to do, what I have to do, basically. But I always train cross, always train, you know, when I had to go full, you know, with my head, shoot from outside. I train everything because as a center back, train how to hit. You know, we have a corner against us. I was not that bad, but of course I'm not a short person.
No, not at all.
But I always train. I like to do this kind of training. But when we go forward, we have a corner for us. I had more chance because I trained as well. This was the part of my game. It was about the way I train.
Do you think training is probably what sets the difference between good players and the top players? Because the top players stay around for longer. Because I think a certain kind of grassroots football, people don't turn up if it's raining, the boots are muddy, they don't have the right kit, they don't train as hard with the right intensity. Do you think that could improve someone's game if you were someone playing non-league football? Do you think that would be a good way of improving them?
Well, I think it's always people have different opinion in terms of it, of course. But my opinion is that more you train, better you become. Because sometimes people say, "Oh, he got the talent," but if you don't work on your talent, maybe somebody with less skill can be successful.
Well, they say hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard.
This is true, the reality for me. And nowadays, for example, when we listen about Cristiano Ronaldo, how much do you think he trained? Not only when he go to his training session, but when he's not training with his teammates outside. But he training about his game, but he training his mind. I think part of my game was he was not on my feet. you know.
Yeah.
My game was here on my mind. Reading the game, understand my position, understand what the coach want from me, the position I have to be. Reading the not only the opponents, but especially my in the strategy we work where I have to be. But the game itself for me is here. How you think about it, and I always before the game starts, you know, imagining where I have to be, the position I had the game before I started the game. You know,
Yeah, you've already played it out. You've already played the game out.
You know, but by training every day, you know, always do something extra. I love training.
Did you?
Sometimes I love more than play games. Kind of games, of course.
Yeah.
But training for me was something very special. I love it. I like to train a lot.
So did you quite like the physical games? So when you're playing against, say, Roy Keane, when you were playing, coming in a game against Roy Keane, because he's obviously a very physical player himself, do you kind of thrive on that and it kind of got you up for the game even more?
You have to. If you are not ready to this kind of
I suppose you
game
wouldn't be a
play,
footballer. Yeah.
exactly, it's hard.
But do you enjoy the physical side of things?
I've learned better when I came to Premier League, because it was very physical here when I came. In Brazil we had, but not that much. We have, let's say, in my position, a little bit more space to get the ball and turn. But when I came here, no chance. My first few games, I was killed in the games.
Yeah.
You know, But
so what did you do to overcome that? So how did you learn? What did you do? Well, is it just being sharper and just getting used to it?
You get used to it, but you have to be smart to position yourself. I remember once that Arsene came to me, and because I get the ball and just play on the side.
What was that step over you tried to do yesterday?
Huh?
What was that step over you tried to do in the game yesterday?
No, this was terrible. Step over. But just get the ball, for example, in Brazil, in this position, get the ball, play on the side, then get the ball back, play as with center back, you know, like a rotation, but it's not very effective forward. And after a few games, he came to me and said, listen, if you get the ball in this position, you get the ball from center back, try to find a position, you know? But when you get the ball, you just turn. I want you to play forward. I remember once with Dunga, I worked with him in the national team, and he knew the position very well. It was great to have his advice. He found, you know, he came to me, listen, I want you guys, you know, to get, instead you turn your face to the center defender, just turn on the side and find a position on the side, because then you have a chance to see if somebody comes behind you. I have always tried to find like what could be the best position for me to get the ball without, let's say, don't have a pressure behind me, because if you lose the ball in this position, the opponent can score a goal. That's what I mostly did.
So was there a player that you really kind of look forward to playing against, and is there a player that you used to hate playing against?
No, I never hate to play against some.
Oh, come on.
No, listen, I have like...
The Metro are going to make it up anyway, so you may as well say someone.
Yeah. If they're going to play against, they'll say about Rob Savage when I was sent off. You know?
Exactly.
I didn't hate play against him. We have this incident when I got sent off, I think after
8 minutes.
5 minutes, something like, was it?
8 minutes, I think, yeah.
Too early in the game in Blackburn.
Well, you could argue there's never a right time to get sent off.
No, it's terrible. But you know, it's like a situation. But I never hate to play against anyone else. I never had this problem. But I knew that some players was going to be hard to play against. Like coming here play against Steve Gerrard was going to be hard. Frank Lampard, Roy Keane. Physically speaking, you know, Roy Keane, he was a tough player to play against. Mark Lele, if you confront him, if you go on the ball 50-50, make sure you are ready, because he is ready.
Really? Is this the hardest tackler you've played against?
There's those guys, they never hide the tackle.
Yeah.
But there are some other guys I've played, you know. When I came, I don't know, I think it was against Bolton once. At Highbury, I just got the ball and I got a very bad tackle from my back. I don't remember who was the guy. I think he got sent off in that game. I think it was against Bolton, if I'm not wrong. But when I first came here, the game was very physical. For me to adapt and took a little bit of a few games just to understand, which is normal. But you have to be up for it. You have to adapt. There's no other way.
No, exactly.
There's
no other choice. So I've been wanting to ask you for a while now, and I don't know why I've just thought about it. So there's a famous game, Manchester against Arsenal, because you guys are the top teams, two teams at that point. There was an incident in the tunnel at Highbury. Were you playing in that game? And I think Roy Keane tried to pick a fight with, I think it was Patrick, yeah.
I think Patrick said some. I don't remember exactly. I think he said something with Gary Neville.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he was talking to Gary Neville. Roy Keane came out of nowhere from the back.
I don't know exactly what Patrick said to him.
No, but it's such a small tunnel in Highbury, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very narrow. We were shoulder to shoulder to the other players.
Did you quite like that sort of the gladiatorial, almost like gladiators going out for battle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Many times, especially at the Highbury, this narrow tunnel.
You'd already beaten them.
I had a feeling that we start to win the game in the tunnel.
Yeah, before you've already won before you even got on the pitch.
Because we were very confident for the games. We had a good preparation during the week. But see the other players, the way they look at us, sometimes I had this feeling. Just went to the game and enjoy, make sure we get the results. This is what we did most of the time.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So is there players that you really love to play with as well in that position? Who is your kind of ideal four?
Ideal four? Well, it's hard. But let's see, play with Patrick, we have a Ljungberg and Pires on the left was great.
Not bad midfielders.
Yeah, sometimes I play with Edu. We had a very good, fantastic combination as well. Play with Brazil, we play with Kleberson. We had a very good pair. I think the point is, as I told you, is when you understand your role in this position and understand the way your partner play. If you understand this very well, it's much easier the game.
Yes.
You have to make things easy.
Nice. Cool.
And simple.
Perfect. Well, I think that'll do for this one. I think we might try and do, hopefully you're going to cook me some food.
That's a funny part later on.
Nice.
Let's see.
Cool. Anything else you wanted to say?
That's all right. Hope
cool.
people enjoy.
Let's say goodbye to that one as well. See you later. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you. Hope you enjoy.